conduct on this earthly plane governed by the Ten Commandments.
Yes.
Is that the Word of God, or did that come from something called the Book of the Dead?
Well, I recall James Henry Breasted, who was a famous American Egyptologist at the University of Chicago, established the Oriental Institute in, I think, around 1935. James Henry Breasted got in trouble for saying that the Ten Commandments were derived from the 42 admonitions of MAAT. What does that mean? MAAT in ancient Kemet was the overriding force that governed everything in the universe. She represented the principles of justice, balance, harmony, and that there were 42 admonitions of MAAT. Some of them were, I have not stolen, I have not robbed, I have not defrauded offerings, I have not polluted myself, I have not polluted the land, I have not committed adultery, I have not spoken ill against God. And so it is from the 42 admonitions of MAAT that Moses derived the Ten Commandments. And so there is a profound difference between an admonition of MAAT, where one declares your innocence and says, I have not done X, Y, and Z, and a commandment where people without a profound understanding of MAAT must be commanded not to do things that a person in their right mind would know not to do. So these are cultural differences that are based upon another culture appropriating aspects of African culture and interpreting it through their own cultural lens.
When you begin to see how the stories of Moses giving us the law, the Ten Commandments, go back and read the Ten Commandments. You'll find out, first of all, there's two different renditions of the Ten Commandments in Genesis. One says one thing, one says the other. But the Ten Commandments of Moses is based on an Egyptian story called the Negative Confessions.
You mentioned that the Ten Commandments, when we were in Egypt, you mentioned that the Ten Commandments that we are aware of are derived from 42 commandments that carry another name, the Negative Confessions.
Or admonitions to Goddess Ma'at.
I see.
And they're thousands of years older than the so-called Ten Commandments. You see,
no, we have some visuals that are on the that you took on the wall. Let's there it is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Those are the Negative Confessions.
Those are some of the 42 Negative Confessions.
Now, when you say Negative Confessions, that means
because they start in negative. Hail Ma'at, I have not killed man or woman. Hail Ma'at, I have not made light thy bushel. Hail Ma'at, I have not spoken ill of the God.
So these are...
These would be the English version.
I have not, as opposed to thou shalt
not.
The right social and moral development of mankind in the Nile Valley, which is 3,000 years older than that of the Hebrews, contributed essentially to the formation of Hebrew literature. Our moral heritage therefore derives from a wider human past enormously older than the Hebrews. Hear what he said? Our moral heritage. See, because the people in this part of the world want you to think that the Ten Commandments is the source of our moral heritage in Western civilization. He just blew that out the water. He said our moral heritage therefore derives from a wider human past enormously older than the Hebrews. And it has come to us rather through the Hebrews, than from them. This is the man that started the Oriental Institute of University of Chicago, the #1 archaeology university on the planet.
Archaeology experts have found absolutely no evidence whatsoever that Hebrew Jews lived as slaves in Egypt or of their exodus from Egypt. The plain truth is that Moses didn't lead Hebrew slaves out of Egypt any more than Charlton Heston did. There is not one shred of archaeological evidence for the existence of Moses or of any of the Bible's main cast of Hebrew characters, from Abraham to Jacob to Joseph to King David to King Solomon.
Green. What does Green say? No direct archaeological evidence according to Time, December 18, 1995. Isaac Green. No direct archaeological evidence according to Time, December 18, 1995. Jacob Green. No direct archaeological evidence. Joseph Green. No direct archaeological evidence. Period of the Exodus Green. No direct archaeological evidence. Moses Green. No direct archaeological evidence.
There is, however, plenty of evidence for the existence of Egyptian pharaohs who these biblical characters are based on. The Bible's Old Testament has carefully covered up the connection between the Egyptian pharaohs and the Hebrew patriarchs by mixing up historical facts with myths and legends.
And God buried Moses in the valley in the land of Moab. But what about it? Go ahead.
Over against that Peor.
Over against something.
But no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this
But
day.
no man knows where he's buried. Until today. Nobody knows where he's buried. Of course not. See, this is what blows my mind. I can show you burial sites of people that date back 8, 9, 10,000 years. I can't show you one burial site of one person mentioned in the Bible. Not just Jesus, none of them. We can't find David's burial site. You can't find Ezekiel's burial site, Jeremiah's burial site, Daniel's burial site, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, none of them. The Bible says that they don't know where Moses is buried. I'll tell you why. Because there was no Moses.